Hello everyone, on today's video I'm gonna explain the events that take place in chapter 1052. Without wasting any more time, let's begin. Oh wait, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Yeah, now let's begin. Chapter 1052 begins in Marihoa, where the five elders are discussing the appearance of Nika and the downfall of Kaido and Big Mom. They know that news this big can't be covered up, it's only a matter of time. Out on the seas outside Wano, the ships have reported that Zunisha has disappeared into the fog. With Wano's borders remaining closed, the world government will have considerable trouble trying to get in. Despite this setback, the elders assure themselves that Nico Robin can still be captured, with CP0 confirming it. However, the meeting is suddenly cut short when someone jams the signal being used. In Onigashima Castle, Hawkins and Drake reunite, with Hawkins confronting Drake about his status as a Navy spy. He tells Hawkins that he looks awful and thought he would be fine because of his prediction. Hawkins explains that he followed Kaido because he sensed death in the presence of that monster. He asks Drake if he really thought that Hawkins could try and return to Kid's side even if he had foreseen their victory. Drake thinks back to when Hawkins was divining the fate of the fight, realizing that Hawkins was looking at his own future. The 1% chance of surviving was Hawkins. Confirming Drake's suspicions, Hawkins slumps to the floor, seemingly passing away from his injuries. A week after the war, in the Flower Capital, the decorations are being ordered to remain up, as yet another festival will be taking place. The children at the school will have to restart their history lessons properly, with their first lesson being on Kazuki Oden. The people talk about how Komurasaki is actually Hiyori and how she survived the burning castle as a child drinks clean drinking water. Rumors about the hero of Wano are beginning to spread, saying that he is Joyboy and that he's no longer in Wano. In Ringo, a new temple will be built on a hill with a view of the Flower Capital, where Oden's remains will be laid to rest. He will be among his brethren and those who risked their lives for Wano, along with Ashura and Izo. Kinemon and Sawamatsu speak with Marco, who approves of Izo's remains being enshrined in Wano. The three lament the losses they've faced together but pray for the health of those who remain. Meanwhile, Yamato sits on the roof of the castle when Hiyori and Momonosuke say that both Zoro and Luffy are now awake. Luffy demands meat and Zero booze as everyone celebrates. Momo proposes that a feast be held that day to honor them, with the whole country in attendance, but the two don't recognize him now that he's an adult. He tries to cuddle up to Nami and gropes her, asking her to protect him from Zoro and Luffy picking on him. Instead of humoring him, she decks him while Sanji and Brook laugh, although Momo points out that mentally, he's still only 8. Yamato also begins teasing him, placing a plate on his head and saying that he's basically his father on the outside despite his child mentally. This annoys Momonosuke, but Yamato says he should be thankful that his parents blessed him with a sturdy body and that he'll be the nation's greatest samurai one day. Nami suggests that they take a bath before the festival, inviting Yamato to join her now that his prayer is over. It's a tradition in Wano to deprive oneself if they want a prayer to be answered by the gods, which is what Yamato undertook by not eating or bathing until Luffy and Zoro recovered. Luffy thanks Yamato for such a grand gesture, while Zoro notes that he'd expect them to be dirty. Hiyori chimes in that she was the one who cleaned them, which triggers Sanji's jealousy. This reminds Zoro of his promise to end Sanji's life if he were to lose his humanity. Saying that he's returned from hell to kill him, he and Sanji break into a fight. Meanwhile, Yamato turns down Nami's offer, as there are no mixed baths in the castle, but Kikunojo takes her up on it. Instead, Yamato joins the men in their bath while the ladies soak on their side. Everyone outside begins preparing for the feast to celebrate the return of the Kazuki clan. In Tokage Port, Usopp and Frankie finish up repairs to the ships and General Frankie while Kid and Law's crews admire their handiwork. Kid warns them not to get too friendly, as once they leave Wano, they will be targeted since they took out Big Mom and Kaido. Law agrees and points out that while nobody can see what's happening in Wano, they can't see what the enemy is planning either. As the crew speculate on what the new bounties will be, Apu appears with said bounties in hand via newspaper, with Kid accusing him of leaking the info. Not only does the paper have the new bounties but also the names of the new emperors of the sea. However, before the names are revealed, someone flies overhead with the use of a giant flower as a propeller. It's revealed to be Admiral Ryokugyu, approaching Wano alone. He is ordered not to take any unnecessary actions by Sakazuki over radio transmission before the chapter comes to a close.